Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the DM test drive on the 2022 Kia EV6. Today we're going to take a look around the car, take a look at the cargo, back seat, front seat, but most importantly, get it out on the DM test route, talk about how it drives, how it's been to live with, and if you should consider it here in 2022. This is the GT line rear-wheel drive model. It means we've got the larger battery, 77.4 kilowatt hours, but only about 72.5 usable. 310 miles of estimated EPA range, about 225 horsepower, about 278 pound-feet of torque. So what I would call normal car fast. It's interesting because most EVs we drive feel crazy quick. There's that Volvo XC40 Recharge that had no business having over 400 horsepower in a car like that. It felt crazy quick. This just feels like a strong, smooth, normal pedestrian car. And that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the EV6. Despite its super futuristic and look at me styling, it actually drives really simply and straightforward and almost borderline mundane, but I really like that for a car like this. I mean, we're dealing with big, thick sidewall tires here, pretty normal looking wheels, even though they are fairly aerodynamically designed, which I like that somehow so many brands don't have to do stupid aero covers, yet Tesla still can't seem to find a way to not use aero covers. The only thing I could maybe see actually is these wheels might be a good bit heavier than just putting a plastic aero cover. The looks of the EV6 are a little out there for me. I'm also not the biggest fan of this matte paint, although a lot of people are. I know Alyssa likes it quite a bit, but I could give or take it. I'd probably take a little bit more of a normal color, but I do appreciate that it at least stands out and makes a statement, and I think it's kind of cool for that. The only thing I appreciate is a power opening charge door. Maybe the car needs to be freshly unlocked. There we go. Power opens. You can see your charger with your level 3 port right here. But just leave that closed and plug in your home charger. That's nice to have. Also a good amount of cargo space in the EV6. It's kind of an in-between between a crossover and a car, both in design and cargo, but of course since it's the hatchback design, you can fold these seats down and get quite a bit in there. It's nice. This one comes with the optional cargo cover, keep your things covered and a little bit safer. Small bit of underfloor storage, definitely not as much as some competitors, but enough to put a charger back here or these mobility kits. And this thing is actually kind of interesting. It's a feature that Kia really touted a lot, but I don't see being all that useful. They call it V to L. So what it means is that you can actually plug in, that's weird, you plug this end into the charge port of your car, and then there's supposed to be a like a wall style outlet right here. Does this come out? This is supposed to come down, isn't it? There we go. It's kind of hard to get open. Maybe I didn't do it right. But then there's a wall style outlet that you can simply plug things in and go up to 15 amps and actually power devices off of your car. And don't get me wrong, for very specific use cases, I could definitely see how this would be useful. There were maybe 1 or 2 times in the year that we owned our Tesla Model Y that I wish we could have utilized that power. But overall, I don't think people are going to use it as much as Kia thinks. They love to claim like, oh, you could go camping and power your campsite with your car and everything. It's like, yeah, most campsites I go to, my car's not there, or at least it's a good bit away. And the whole point of camping is not to have power, is to be kind of unplugged. And so maybe for tailgates or something, I could see the benefit. What I actually see the benefit a little bit more is the fact that you can use that plug on the inside of the car. That, right, I think it's down here, or, oh no, it's back here, there we are. Right there, that I could see being more useful to plug into, because there's definitely been times recently where I've been in cars and using my laptop or some sort of other device that I want to charge, and being able to plug into the car that way, I can see being much more useful. An incredible amount of rear seat room here in the EV6. Look at this, I'm 5'10". I've got acres of space. That seat is set for my driving position. You can also recline quite a bit, which is nice. It's super comfortable. Even back here, you have these cool Alcantara fake suede seats, not in the center, but on the 2 outboards. Flip down armrest with some semi-grippy cup holders. And it looks like this is, yep, you can pull that back and then just get sort of a storage area. I would love to do a road trip back here. plenty of space, and if you're trying to put a rear-facing car seat in here, you're gonna have plenty of space to do that as well. I think that's a really smart design from Kia to have all this space back here. Got your hard seat back pockets, two USB-Cs, and air vents. Again, important if you had a baby right here or something, being able to cool them off, or even just adults. They like to be cool as well. Interesting that you can only turn on both of these lights at the same time though. Why not individual? While many electric vehicles have what people call a frunk, EV6 really doesn't have much up here. It's mostly just kind of mechanical type things. You can see it looks very similar to a gasoline car, but you can pop this compartment open. You could at least put maybe, I don't even think you could quite fit a charge cable in there, a full charge cable. You could do maybe a small extension cord. I guess you could take that V2L thing that's in the back, put it in here, but it's a very, very small storage area up there. Don't expect to be using it regularly the way you might in some other EVs like a Mach-E or a Tesla. Into the inside, again, a nice blend of sort of unique and futuristic design, but also very functional. I've actually spent a good bit of time in the EV6 now, both on the initial drive event and then now here for the last week at home, and I'm just continually blown away by how straightforward they made the interior. You fire the car up here. You've got a pretty straightforward touchscreen with a lot of different usable controls, very responsive, quick. I should mention we did a dedicated review of the Meridian audio system, which is not fantastic. I'm a little disappointed in it. I'll put the link in the description for that. Decent center console, actually quite deep. Places for smaller cup holders, and then you can put larger bottles in the doors. Two little quirks with the interior that it's kind of taken me a little getting used to. These controls right here for heated and cooled seats are touch capacitive. So that means if you're working up here to maybe change something in climate control, I have found myself accidentally pressing one of those buttons and turning on my heated seat. That happened both in the initial drive and once or twice happening this week. Not a huge deal. I'm sure you'd kind of teach yourself not to press that, and even if you do, your butt just gets hot for a minute and then you turn it off. The other thing that's a little strange is this screen actually flip-flops between climate controls, which is on now, and navigation and media controls. You kind of get used to it. I'm glad that there are at least some degree of physical controls for it, but it's kind of a quirk that in the last few Kias I've had with that, it just takes a little getting used to. A lot of people will really appreciate this huge center storage area, though. It's large enough for a medium-sized purse or a lot of other different bags or sunglasses, and it's grippy underneath, which I think is really good as well. Also good because there's no sunglasses holder up here. Rotary style shifter, I like to see that. Into drive, and away we go. You can adjust your levels of regenerative braking using the paddle shifters. Go all the way up to nothing. So right now, the car is completely freewheel coasting. I get up speed a little bit, let my foot off the accelerator, just kind of carries. But I don't like to drive that way. My preference is to actually press the left pedal 4 times and get I-pedal. This makes it so the car will actually come to a stop on its own and give just about maximum regeneration coming to a stop. It's what a lot of people would refer to as one-pedal driving. Driving away here. Here there's a little bit of fake noise that the EV6 actually puts out for pedestrians to hear, or anyone else, bikers or something like that. That goes away at 25 miles per hour. Not every brand does that, or at least some brands make it quieter. I'd kind of prefer it to be a little quieter. I find myself right here just hearing it a lot, and one of the magics of an electric vehicle is having it be so quiet and mild, just kind of mild downside there. Not the end of the world, I guess. But if you do want more noise, go into setup, vehicle, and active sound design. Listen to that. You can actually choose from 3 different fake noises that play on the inside of the car to make your driving experience feel a little bit more engaged. The 3 different sounds, like I said, right now we're in dynamic. switch over to stylish. And then my favorite, or it's just the weirdest, I think, is cyber. It's just kind of weird. I think I prefer dynamic the most. Let's turn it into sport mode, hustle it around oversteer here. So while it's not fast, it's also not slow. It's just kind of a simple in-between. One thing that is kind of cool though with this rear-wheel drive car, and I really appreciate Kia for still allowing us to do this here in 2022, is you can entirely disable traction and stability control, and then this thing turns into an absolute hoon machine. It's just not what you'd expect. I'm gonna turn off fake sound so you all can hear the sounds of tire squeal. This thing will get so out of sorts so quickly with stability and traction control off. Let's do a quick 60 to 0 brake test. And acceleration. Yeah, like I said, not a speed demon, but enough for daily driving. Definitely enough. If you're getting out of another sort of electric vehicle, you're probably going to be a bit disappointed. In fact, Alyssa drove this a little bit, and after owning even the standard range Tesla Model Y, she thought this was slow. And I was like, well, it's not exactly slow, it's just not fast. Oh, that's fun. That is fun. Two of the things that have really impressed me about the EV6, having it for a while here, are the ride quality and the quietness inside the cabin. We're going to get up to highway speed here, and on a pretty noisy highway. It's concrete. It's kind of the loudest sort of highway you're going to ever drive on. And you just kind of see how serene it is in here for this price point. Apparently we are not going to get up to highway speed here anytime soon. Alright, here we are. 70 miles per hour. Even with this window open, really not too bad in here. The other thing you have is Kia's excellent active lane keeping. It's really a semi-autonomous driving mode. Look at this. Taking us through this corner, absolutely no problem. It'll even change lanes. Put your blinker on like that. Well, I think it had actually lost the lane a little bit right there. But it will change lanes for you, and it's a little bit less annoying than some of the other active lane changing features we've seen on other cars. I've just been happy driving this car and spending time with it. And I think that's the biggest testament that you can give to a car, is just kind of it being a good thing to be in and a good thing to drive. I like this big flat bottom wheel. Provides a lot of comfortable places to hold it. I like the squishy bits of a lot of different parts of the interior. I like the functionality. I like most of it, I really do. It's not the most engaging car, but I like that Kia hasn't claimed it to be. They've pretty much just said, yeah, it's just an electric commuter vehicle. Wait until we come out with the GT model, that will be the actual sporty one. And it's interesting because the dramatic looks of the car don't really match the simple driving experience. But I think that's okay. I think that a lot of people want an exciting exterior and the simple driving experience. Let's talk about the 3 Daily Motor criteria for evaluating a car. How is it to drive, how to be to live with, and how well does it execute its mission? First, how is it to drive? Like I said, it's not the most exciting or invigorating or engaging driving experience, but it makes daily driving simple, and that, I think, is something to be lauded, something to be applauded for. It is straightforward, easy, so it's good. It's strong in the how it is to drive, because between the one-pedal driving, the really good semi-autonomous driving mode, the easy-to-use controls, I think it's good to drive. How would it be to own? Well, Kia and Hyundai have put a bunch of effort into this electric vehicle platform, and they've been making EVs for a while. You gotta remember, Kia's had the Niro EV, Hyundai's had the Kona EV, and the Ioniq EV. So there's a lot of development that's already gone into these electric vehicle platforms. So I think reliability is gonna be pretty good. And on top of that, you've got a 10-year, 100,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty on this car. So if anything goes wrong, you're gonna be covered for a really, really long time. On top of that, there is a pretty diverse Kia dealership network. Now, is every Kia dealership going to be appropriate for a nearly $60,000 car if you were to get the all-wheel drive model of this or something? I don't think so. You're going to be in the same service lane as people getting their 10-year-old Kia Souls serviced, and you might not be getting the same care and quality that you'd get at a luxury vehicle manufacturer, but I still think you're going to the fact that there are so many dealers around and Kia's been making leaps and bounds, I think that's pretty good. If you're going to take this on a good amount of road trips, you're going to have to deal with the charging network. Not as robust as something like Tesla, not as easy to use, but you do have 800-volt charging compatibility with this car. So that means if you pull up to a level 3 charger from Electrify America or ChargePoint or whomever that can do 800 volts, you're going to get a much faster charge than you might in a lot of other electric vehicles. There aren't too many at this point that support that 800-volt charging infrastructure. Let's go here on the screen. This is kind of a neat feature you got. You go to energy information, and it'll tell you how long it would take to charge up to full or up to whatever setting you have on the various chargers. So if you're doing a 120 volt at home, 3 hours, 240 at home, or anywhere really. A 240 volt, take about 25 minutes, and then at both 400 volt and 800 volt DC charging, it's going to take about 10 minutes. But as this charge level gets down and you're like 40-50%, then the 800 volt becomes quite a bit quicker than the 400 volt. All that's to say that I do think this is going to be an easier road tripping EV experience than some of the competitors. It's going to be more efficient. We got about 230 miles on our highway range test. And that's pretty decent for the size of this battery. This is one of the most efficient electric vehicles on the market today. So ownership experience, I think, is going to be pretty good as well. And how well does it execute its mission? Well, the EV6's mission is to be a cool, straightforward electric vehicle for the masses. And I think it does a really good job at that as well. This is the type of EV that I would be totally happy owning myself, and I'd be totally confident giving to somebody like my mother, who's never owned an electric vehicle, would be very new to the experience. But if I was just like, hey mom, this is your car now, I do think this would be one of the easiest, most straightforward, and most enjoyable electric vehicle experiences on the market today for her. So all of that's to say, 3 good marks on the Daily Motor criteria for a good car. This is absolutely a good car. Daily Motor good car badge, if you will. It rides great, it drives easy, and I think it would be awesome to own. Would I buy one? Yes. Would I buy one over every other electric vehicle on the market? That's tough to say right now. I would have to seriously consider some of the alternatives. I just like the way Teslas work and the technology in there and the charging network. I'm not a big fan of how they ride, though, from sort of a daily driving sort of perspective. So it would be tough for me. This one is going to be a good bit cheaper with the federal tax incentives. Probably be able to get one a little sooner. I don't know. It'd be really close. I also really like the looks of the Hyundai Ioniq 5, but Hyundai not only hasn't sent us one yet to review, but also they don't sell them here in Michigan. So the Kia would definitely be in my top 1 or 2 spots right now for not only electric vehicles, but just about every vehicle on the market right now. All right, thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the EV6, check the links in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.